Hi.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Knock Knock Hi with the Glaucomfleckens. I'm Dr. Glaucomflecken,
I'm Lady Glaucomflecken.
and this is an episode of Glauc Talk. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. First of all, what is your number of yellow jacket kills for the weekend?
Well, I would say that's a team effort.
You're really good at spotting them, though.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. We just moved. We're in the country now. All right. We were pretty much every place we've lived up until this point has been like in a
Like suburbia.
heavily populated area.
Right.
This is the first time we're like more away from people and where nature is really, we are in nature's way.
Well, yeah, we're coexisting.
Exactly. And so we're feeling that in the way of like some of our trees are like getting funguses and fungi. Yeah, and we have yellow jacket problems.
Yeah, we have so many. I mean, I've lived in the country my whole childhood. I've never seen so many yellow jackets on one property. Like it's an insane amount of yellow jackets. It really, really is. But I think we've probably, I mean, it's hard to say, but I feel like we've gotten like 75% of them. I feel like it's reduced. Do you remember when we first moved in? They were everywhere.
Down like 30 nests at least, and they're small nests. If you get,
and what's the difference between the ones where they lay their eggs, right, that you keep knocking down, versus the ones where they go to live at night? Because we've had one of those too that we've dug up and smashed, and it was like a 3-parter. It had like 3 sections to it.
The paper wasp nest.
Yeah,
things. I mean, if you have any recommendations for us, we've had like professionals come out, and that helped a little bit, but
it helps. But even they said, now just keep in mind, this is, what did they call it? Something like
a losing battle.
Like, no, they said like it's wasp
futile
or pest control, not pest elimination, right? Like it's pest management. Sort of.
I found myself fantasizing earlier today as like if I had, if you had like 3 wishes from a genie, you always, everybody knows like kind of what they'd wish for. I feel like right now, one of the wishes I would do is like, I have the ability to eradicate one insect group.
Can we make it 2?
You want mosquitoes gone too,
yeah.
right? Yeah. I'm with you. Mosquitoes and yellow jackets.
Yeah, like what good are either of those doing?
Do we need them for our global ecosystem?
Right.
Like what?
I don't think we need mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes for sure.
But like, do yellow jackets serve a purpose in the ecosystem, or are they just real jerks?
Who's been stung this summer? You have.
I have.
Our daughter.
Our youngest daughter. The landscaper that came out. That's how we discovered that giant nest underground.
Our landscaper.
He got stung.
He got stung right in the middle of his forehead.
Yeah.
Right
Poor
there.
Guy.
And he was, and he just stopped working for the day.
Yeah, he's like, you need to take care of that, and then I'll come back.
Oh man. But the summer hasn't been just all fighting yellow jackets. We did get to experience London for the first time.
We did, and we got to take our kids to New York.
That's
for
right.
The first time.
We did a little trip. We hung out in New York for a few days on our way to London, and the trip was started by my mom recovering from cancer.
Yes.
And all of a sudden we like, we got to go to Wimbledon. I'm holding this thing right now in the video for some reason. I have something in my hands. It's like I'm like operating or something. And we went to London with the family. I took my parents with us.
Well, you didn't explain why we had to go to Wimbledon.
Oh, because it's her lifelong dream of getting to see Wimbledon. We've been talking about it for a long time. And I promised her when I got into med school that I would take her to Wimbledon. And she got cancer. She's fine now, by the way. It was a high-grade liposarcoma, which is not a common cancer and can be very aggressive. But she's, after a big surgery, she is still cancer-free. But that was like, I got to get on my horse. We got to get over to Wimbledon.
Between the two of you, it's like, let's just do this now.
She's had her stuff. I've had my things. And, but we went, and it was awesome. the whole trip was fantastic. I didn't have to do any driving, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Feel
That
like
would have been
someone would have gotten
tricky.
hurt. Yeah, but we went all over the place. We went up to Oxford. We went to Bath.
Yeah.
We went to spent a few days in London. We were there.
And Stonehenge.
We were in England for a very special time. It was when they had the changeover of the
Parliament
something.
The
prime minister. We saw a new prime minister get voted
all of
in.
Parliament didn't change over.
And I was out in front of Buckingham Palace when the incoming prime minister, they have to go to the king and ask if he can be prime minister. It's like a thing. And so I was out there in front. You were not quite there yet. I think you were walking toward the Buckingham Palace, but I was there with a big throng of
looky-loos.
So I was there for it. It was great. And then also later that night, I think I got to see England beat Switzerland in the Euro soccer. You don't care as much about that, but
well, I vaguely remember
it was very exciting.
Was going on.
Everybody was very excited in England. So it was a great trip. I really enjoyed, I would kind of live tweeted a lot of the vacation.
You got on TV.
I was
in
on
the
TV.
crowd at Wimbledon.
That was one of the highlights for me. I got on TV. If you were watching the fourth round matches, I
wonder what channel was that?
It was like ESPN.
Everyone saw you, or just like local English broadcast?
I got a couple of responses to a tweet about it.
I know, but you don't know that those people didn't live in England.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It may have just been locally, but it was cool.
No, it was like the broadcast, the ESPN, the
official.
Yeah, the official broadcast. Don't try to downplay.
I'm not downplaying.
My Wimbledon
it just
fame.
occurred to me that I didn't know. Was this globally or was it just in England?
No, I am now totally famous, even more famous than I ever have been.
What if it had said on the screen, Dr. Glauc?
Oh my God. I didn't think about this till afterwards because I saw the video guy right there. Like he was just off to the side. He was primarily getting this young family in front of us. I was just kind of the big giant American doofus sitting over them. And the whole time I knew he was there. I knew he was recording. I didn't know it was going to be on TV. So I just had my regular normal face. But if I had thought about it,
Jonathan.
I would have given a Jonathan head nod. Oh, missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Too bad.
It's all right. Well, what other things in the news? We're talking about the recent events in England. We've had some very scary, difficult recent events in the U.S.
Yeah.
With the assassination attempt.
That's true.
On Donald Trump. Wild. Just it was scary and sad for our country. Political violence is no matter kind of where you are politically, it's settle these. That's not the way things are settled, or should be settled.
That's what voting is for.
Exactly. And I the one thing I will say is it's interesting to see the social media response when stuff like this happens. I tend to try to I don't want to say anything, and sometimes it's better not to say anything at first because there's so much information coming out. We don't know exactly what the situation is.
And you are not a political expert also, right?
Why
does everyone with a platform have to say something about every issue, even if they know nothing about it,
Yes, that is very fair. But in this one in particular, there's one thing I'm going to point out that kind of irritates me about people in healthcare. Is mostly physicians that you hear this from. So the news broke, and within 10 minutes, I saw a couple of posts on Twitter, on X, about how to repair an ear.
Oh.
And which is okay. It was all about, the vasculature makes it difficult to. I think there's a place for that, but not right away.
Yeah.
just a weird thing. And like, I feel like like people on social media, whenever you do that kind of thing, like that quickly after the thing happened,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like it's more, you're trying to
Like capitalize on it.
capitalize, you're trying to get engagement, you're trying to almost kind of more promote yourself
Mm-hmm.
in that way when you're doing it that soon.
Right.
And it's just like, in that moment, like, how many people really care about the, like, how to repair an
Vasculature
ear?
of an ear.
Like what, it's like it's great education. Sure. It's just like a timing thing that strikes me as odd. I guess that's
Yeah.
the thing.
Right.
So I don't know. I saw that, and if it had been like maybe a few days later, that would
Mm-hmm.
be fine. Like, but it just, when it happens right then and there, like within 10 minutes of news breaking, you're like doing a tweetatorial about ear,
Right. Which I
anatomy.
see the logic behind it, I guess, or the impulse, because that's the way it works generally. You see something in the news,
Sure.
you want to get something out there right away, right? 24-hour news cycles and all these things that, like, you want it to be very timely. But there's, certain things that might happen where maybe you don't it's not appropriate for it to be right away.
Yeah. And maybe this is just because in the grand scheme of like offensive things people can say after a very serious thing, like
Yeah.
a presidential candidate getting shot,
Right.
that's probably like lower on the list of like
Right.
offensive things.
Yeah, this is a
This
very
is more like a
extremely niche
pet
complaint that
peeve
you're having.
kind
Yeah.
of thing, but I do see it over and over again. And it's in the other context that I've seen it is when people have like cardiac arrests,
Hmm.
athletes that have cardiac arrests,
Yeah.
or even like severe injuries. And then like, bam, immediately you start seeing the people come out with, I don't know, that kind of response. And it's maybe
Yeah,
it
I don't
just,
know. I see both sides of it. I'm a little more torn about it.
yeah,
I'm not super irritated. I get it. Uh because that's when people, I mean, okay, maybe not the vasculature of the ear, but like
that one was, it was,
that's
I saw two different
pretty extreme, I guess.
tweet threads,
Yeah.
uh, just about what happens like with an ear injury and what could be the other aspects of the ear injury that can cause problems. And then
Right.
it's like, okay, that's
But
like,
like with cardiac arrest, to use that moment to talk about cardiac arrest in the public sphere, it's because that's when people are paying attention about it and like receptive to learning about it. And it is something that can save people's lives to know.
that's
Now,
fair.
what I would say is not great is all of the speculating about the individual athletes' circumstances before anyone actually knows what's
True.
going on. Like when Damar Hamlin had his cardiac arrest, and everybody was speculating about what may have caused it.
Mhm.
That stuff kind of feels insensitive to me, but
Mhm.
I don't mind it if they're wanting to use that, thing in the news, current event,
True.
as a public health, awareness campaign, sort of.
Yeah.
I think you have to be careful in how you do it, for sure, because you don't want it to feel like you're using somebody's horrible day and horrible events.
For your own gain.
Right, but then is it okay to do it for the public's gain?
And is the public asking for that? Do they need it? Is it helpful? Is it actually helpful? So
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people have different reactions to this. And I was actually, with regard to the assassination attempt, which I believe it was an assassination attempt. I guess right now maybe we don't know, but um, I was looking at the responses to those people doing that, and there were just a few people that were like, kind of felt like me, like, this is kind of a weird thing to tweet at this time. So again, like, not that big of a deal, but just been on my mind.
Kind of a gray area in the modern day. Yeah,
exactly. And it's very unique to Twitter X.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where a lot of people still get their like breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where you're gonna see. I don't know. Does Instagram provide you that, like that level of breaking news? I feel like it's for a
not in the
social
same
media
way, not
platform.
as much.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's news accounts on Instagram that will share breaking news, but
Teach me Instagram,
oh my
millennial woman.
goodness. You are younger than me.
All right.
You are also a millennial.
All right, let's take a break. I'll be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by the Nuance Dragon Ambient Experience, or DAX for short. To learn more about how DAX Copilot can help reduce burnout and restore the joy of practicing medicine, stick around after the episode or visit nuance.com/discover DAX. That's nuance.com/discover DAX. All right, we are back. And there's a question that I was asked recently on social media that I thought I'd pose to you.
Okay.
Would you encourage our children to go into medicine, knowing what you know? If child number one said, I really kind of want to be a doctor.
Mm-hmm. I think that if that was something that they really wanted to do, and you can kind of tell, with kids, like, especially when it's your kids and you've seen them from day one, you can kind of tell if that's something that's like in them,
Yeah.
And if that were the case, it's in them and they really want to do it. And, then of course I would support whatever they really want to do. But with child number one in particular, I don't think that is just inherently in her to want to go into medicine. She's a little more like I am when it comes to bodies.
Yeah.
So
I think
I would maybe have some questions for her.
Our youngest is the most likely to maybe go that route.
Yeah.
I could see it potentially.
Right. Maybe. It's neither one of them seem like my older brother, from a very young age, it was clear he was going to be doing something in that realm. He didn't become a physician, but he became something very related. So
biomedical engineering.
Right.
Smart field.
Which is
Smart
even
guy.
nerdier. Yeah.
Very, very nerdy.
Very smart. But that's my point, right? Like neither of our kids are like that where we can just tell in fact, you know what? Our youngest one, if she came to me and she said, I want to be a race car driver, I would be like, of course you do. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah. She's
like,
daredevil.
That's what seems.
So here's the one difference. The one thing I would do differently than when I was going through med school, just to make it easier, I would do everything that I can to pay for med school for our child. And I realized we have
not everyone can do that.
Not everybody can do that.
Right. Our parents couldn't do that.
But I remember thinking back just to all the stress that we've had. Like, I feel like if we didn't have that big loan number hanging over us for a while, now we're okay. Like, we're kind of out of the most difficult part of that.
It's funny though. You know what's funny is, okay, you've always been more stressed out about that number than I have for whatever reason.
Well, I think I know the reason. Well, because I brought it on to our.
Oh, so you feel responsible?
I feel responsible for it.
Okay.
And the whole reason that we have that debt is because of the promise that my career will pay off that debt.
Right.
So I do. That's that
I
added
guess
stress.
kind of, but then ever since then, this was going to be my point. Ever since then, we've taken on more debt. It's all been responsible debt, right? But mortgages, investments into your practice, things like that, right? That start as debt and over time, you pay it up. Those things have been way larger than, your student loan debt, which was substantial. I'm not saying it's not, but these other things have been more. And so it's interesting to me that the student loan debt hangs over your head in a different way than those things do, even though.
Oh, well, now it's not as much. I'm talking those first few years out in practice.
Yeah.
Residency when,
Oh, yeah. In residency, it was really daunting because it was like, We're hardly like we are living month to month.
We're doing like income-based repayment. So you
And
see
yeah.
despite your loan payment, like the principal, the interest just keeps adding higher and
Yeah.
higher. And so the number's getting bigger. It
Even though you're
ballooned.
paying.
I
Yeah.
think it ballooned from, I remember when I finished med school, the number was like 280 something. And then by the
Mhm.
time I finished residency is up to like 315.
Yeah.
So it's like that was the most amount of stress I felt. It was like,
Yeah.
oh
Because
my
you're like
God.
actively making some payments on it every month,
Like
like you are. And you feel that because you don't have a lot of money coming in, but then it's getting bigger.
like I've got to finish training so I can start digging into this.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I was fortunate because when we refinanced my loans eventually, because we had
Mhm.
like multiple different sources. So eventually we refinanced to one loan person. What do you call them?
Yeah. Lender.
That's the one. At like what is our lowest rate is like it's still at 2.95,
Okay.
which you can't find anymore.
No, you can't.
So
I'm not
like,
sure anyone's still listening.
oh, I mean, come on, you guys are lots of people can relate to debt. Anyway, the point is, I would not discourage my children from medicine, but I would want to just try to, if not pay for all of their
Mhm.
tuition, at least keep it manageable.
Yeah.
Like pay for a significant amount of it so that, maybe last to your point, like maybe a little debt's good. I don't know.
Well, look, debt is not inherently good or bad, I don't think. I think, and granted, I am not a financial professional by any stretch, so this is not professional advice by any means. But me personally, my opinion is debt can be a tool if you use it responsibly. Like I think it is also this, um, I don't know, it's a particular mindset that keeps people from growing wealth to think that they can never go into debt or they should never be in debt because there is some debt that is used to grow wealth. Now, it's complicated and you have to be able to do it responsibly and to know what you're doing and to have the resources to be able to pay that debt off in, a time frame that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But to just, make it black and white of just debt is always bad, period. I don't think that's
As long as you pay your
helpful.
credit card bill every month.
Yeah, you definitely need to do that. But even that, like paying your credit card off every month, that's useful as a tool. Like that helps you build credit.
Which of
That
our
helps you.
which of our kids are you most worried about getting a credit card?
Oh my goodness. Um,
Number 2.
no, I was gonna say number one. I think number two.
What? No way.
Well, because look, our kids are a pretty good mix of us, and then they have some things that are all just
Okay.
them, right? Like every kid. And kid number one, while our personalities are very similar, she does a lot like you. She's a little bit absent-minded, right? Like you both
Oh, I
never know
see.
where you put things. You
Oh,
can't
okay.
keep
I
track
see.
of,
I see your point.
and so I would be a little less confident. I'd want to see that she could handle it before she got one. Kid number two is
She'll
in
spend.
general more like you personality wise, but she has in common with me. We're very kind of detail oriented and we keep track of things and so I think if she understands the whole situation and what can happen if she doesn't do it well, I think she would be fine. I'd be a little concerned about what she's buying for sure. But
When you said detail oriented, it reminded me of a conversation I usually have with patients about cataract surgery, and it made me realize I think you're going to be a nightmare to do cataract surgery on.
oh, good. Why is that?
Because
For the record, you're not doing my cataract surgery.
Oh,
Put that out there right now.
no. That's you don't do surgery on your family.
Right. But even if you could, I would like a different doctor.
That's
You
fair.
are very competent. I don't want people to misunderstand. You are an excellent surgeon. But I've seen how it is when I am just your clinic patient.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like there's a little bit of like, oh, I don't have to do all the all the usual stuff because it's just my wife.
Well, it's interesting because this topic comes up sometimes on social media about VIP patients
Mm-hmm.
and how it's actually bad to be a VIP patient
Why is that?
because people will get out of their usual routine because you're a
You're right.
quote
They're doing it
VIP.
differently for you.
So doing it differently for you, so they're not, paying attention to maybe the right things,
Right.
or just getting out of your normal routine can introduce the possibility of complications
That makes a lot
for
of
things
sense.
yeah. So like I don't want at this point, like I am probably considered a VIP, like going like
Within the
receiving within
medical
the medical
community?
community,
Yeah.
just because like every physician knows my face.
But I haven't seen that.
Can I tell you a story? I don't know if I might have even told you this
Okay.
about
Well,
that.
hold on though. Before we do that.
Oh wait, one more break. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do that. We'll be right back. Hey, Christian, you know how it's kind of hard to make friends in your 30s?
Yeah, because you don't see anyone or go
Life
anywhere.
just gets complicated, right, with kids and work.
Right.
Well, I brought some friends for you.
Oh, who?
Yeah, Demodex
Okay.
Demodex mites.
You shouldn't have.
They can just live with you,
Just
on you, all over
over.
you. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think? Aren't they cute?
Well, these ones are, but I don't think the real ones are quite this
They'll
cute as the
listen-
stuffed ones.
They'll listen to you. They'll listen to your secrets.
Oh, and keep
Yeah.
them locked
so
away in their ribbed bodies.
So these little guys, they live on your eyelids, and they can cause a disease called Demodex blepharitis.
Yeah, like itchy, crusty,
Red,
red, flaky.
Irritated eyelids.
Yeah.
That's right.
No one wants that.
No one wants it, but it's important that when people hear this, they don't get freaked out by this. You got to get checked out.
True.
Right, checked out, not freaked out. Because, coming to the eye clinic, we'll talk to you about Demodex and Demodex blepharitis and see what's going on. To find out more, go to eyelidcheck.com. Again, that's EYELID check.com to get more information about Kristen's new friends here, Demodex blepharitis. All right, so here's my personal VIP story. So I've had moments where, because I've seen so many different doctors, where I am seeing an attending, and they're at a teaching hospital, and they say, "Oh, we love your content. My med students or my resident, would love to meet you." Like, that's fine.
Sure.
Like that's always a lot of fun, because then they come in. I was like, "Oh, which specialty are you going into? Oh, you should not do that. You should do ophthalmology instead. You're making the biggest mistake of your life." All those things, and that's fine. But there's one thing that happened that really I still think about, and I've never talked about this, but it was a few years ago, and I'm not going to say what specialty it was, but I was having my appointment, and an attending that wasn't the physician that was taking care of me, so a different physician, saw my name on the schedule and decided to come into the room and say hi to me.
Yeah, that feels a little squishy. Like,
I felt
you
weird
wouldn't
about
do that to another patient.
Like, I knew that I was like, something didn't feel right about it.
Yeah.
I was like, I wouldn't do that. Like, if I
it
looked
feels
on
like
the
a
schedule
violation of your privacy.
and if I saw like Tom Cruise on the
You
schedule,
don't just pop your head
I wouldn't pop my head and be like, "Tom,
what's up?"
I love Mission Impossible." Like,
Yeah.
And so in the moment, I was just kind of like, it was a very nice person, and I was like,
Just taken
hi, yeah,
aback, though.
thanks, great.
Right.
But that's the kind of thing that doesn't normally happen, and I don't know how to feel. I still think about it. Obviously, I'm telling the story now. It's been a few years since that happened, but that's not something you do, and I would encourage people not to do that to people that might be a bit more notable.
Right. Yeah, that does feel a little weird. I don't know. Sometimes I think too, like, what if you had something really embarrassing, or I don't know, like, what if you had
when I'm in the
an
urology
anal fissure?
Well, when I'm in urology clinic now, and I get my injection, the tech comes in, and then I get undressed, and my ass is up in the air.
Right.
When my physician walks in.
Correct, but so is everyone else's that she's doing that procedure on. Like, that's just how that goes.
Yeah.
But But yeah, like when there are embarrassing things like that, like
It's just not.
would you be hesitant to seek care because you don't want to go in and have it be a whole thing or to be
Yeah,
recognized? There's something nice about like being anonymous at the doctor's office. Even me, like people that see my name and know
they
your
know me,
name,
really.
I feel a little bit like, well, do they know me? Do they not? Like, do they know who my husband is, right? Like, do they
Yeah,
know this part? Or do I still have my, anonymity in this setting? And I never know because they don't really say, but you have to
yeah,
assume they know who you are. It's just a matter of if they've connected the dots that I'm
right.
attached to you.
Yeah, I do. That's really like the worst part about this whole Glockenflagon thing for me is there are certain times where I really do wish I still had some anonymity and going to see a new doctor because I see so many doctors
Right. You have all these health problems.
or like
And
taking
then,
my kids in to see
uh,
or, like
yeah.
I wish I wasn't so recognizable in healthcare in those situations. Other times, like it's fine. I love it. I love when
Yeah.
people come up to me and say hi and tell me who their favorite character is, and it's always Jonathan. And then
Yeah.
it's or ortho bros. I love when ortho bros come say hi to me.
Yeah.
But that situation, it's a little, I don't know. And
Yeah.
so
I mean, overall, the whole thing is a
yeah.
positive and like,
The other time is conferences.
yeah, you
Like
can't go to a conference
I
to
can't
learn
I
anymore.
can't go to an ophthalmology conference just to learn anything because I get stopped too often. I just end up
Let's
taking
be
pictures all the
honest.
time.
Did you ever?
That's, that's true. That's true. How often
You hated
have I actually
conferences.
learned? I've gotten CME, but now I can get CME like at all these places I speak at. But
Yeah.
it is ophthalmology conferences are a little bit different now, and
Yeah.
it's more of a whole thing. But
Yeah.
in the end,
But
these
it's
aren't.
fun and it's like this
Yeah,
is something that you chose,
people in
we
yeah. Oh,
chose.
I brought all of this on myself. I'm
Yeah.
not really.
It's not
Don't you
really
think I'm complaining?
complaining. It's
Yeah,
just kind of like, huh, this is weird.
yeah. But anyway, as far as the wrapping up the VIP discussion, it's you know I still remember my the program, the ophthalmology chair at Iowa. He had to have some kind of surgery, and he always tells you know trainees that come in is like he doesn't like the whole VIP, the fact that you can designate someone as a VIP patient in the
That feels
chart.
wrong in healthcare that some
Yeah.
people are very important and some people are not.
Well, yeah.
Like,
No, you're right. Like, why? Why is that even a designation?
yeah.
There are certain things that the medical record will allow you to do, though, as a quote VIP. If you're designated as that, there's this
Hmm.
break the glass thing where because looky loos
Hmm.
might want to try to look at your chart if you're like
Hmm.
some kind of famous person. So you have this like break the glass where you try to open a patient's chart, but then you have to have some kind of password
Hmm.
or something,
A little extra
a little extra
security for that
security
person's
for
records.
that person's medical record.
That's
I,
fine.
yeah, and so that makes sense, but that just shows you like okay, maybe there is a reason why someone would be labeled as a
Yeah.
VIP for that particular reason,
Right.
but in general, as far as patient care goes, like much better to be anonymous, I think.
Yeah. Sometimes anonymity
Yeah,
and sometimes being anonymous is really
but
nice.
don't go introduce yourself to a famous person out of the blue unless you're part of the healthcare team taking
Right.
care of that person.
Yes. Don't go into an exam room that does not belong to you. Just in
Especially
general.
be careful if it's urology because that person might
Yeah.
be ass up
Sunny side
waiting.
up on the frying pan.
Uh, oh man.
That feels like a good place to
Do
end
you,
it.
should we stop? Is that good? Anything else you wanted to add?
People have heard enough about your butt now.
Every 3 months, I got a couple weeks. I can start feeling myself like getting a little bit low on testosterone.
Yeah,
Oh,
everyone can.
are you? Is it that time of the 3 months? It's like every 3 months I go and I get these little pellets shot in my ass,
Yeah.
and I start
Yeah.
getting a little cranky. A
Yeah,
little
hormones, man. I'm sure it goes both directions probably. I don't know. Maybe you're
with
just
you.
not paying attention.
No, I can tell. I can tell.
I don't know. We'll see.
But you're not afraid to like tell me about it. I'm a little bit more afraid to tell you about it.
Right. It's true. Here's the thing. I already know. Like I can feel it also.
Yeah.
Just like you can feel it when you're getting so we both know. So and that's fine. It's not like I want you to be happy go lucky all the time. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like
we're talking about testosterone, by the way.
For you.
Big T. Yeah.
But when you're getting low, it's like just, it's what I tell the kids. Like, even if you are hungry, not feeling good, low on testosterone, whatever it might be, you still have to be nice to the people around you. Like, it's okay if you're not feeling great, but you still have to like be human.
We're about to have a lot more hormones in our house.
I know. I'm scared.
Yep.
Yeah, this year I feel like is probably going to be the year. She's going into 7th grade. That's a big one.
I remember 7th grade being not a great.
I think generally speaking, 7th grade for people is rough.
Is it? You think it's better for the like second girl?
I'm even more afraid of when she's in 7th grade.
Okay, all right. So
I
it's
think
not going to be better. I was thinking maybe like you go through it as parents and like you kind of know.
No, I think it's awful no matter how many kids you have. Yeah, I think every time. Because every kid is unique, right? Like so whatever issues come up with kid 1, it's going to be totally different issues with kid 2. And, no one ever knows what they're doing.
But I've also always told like that the girls, they bump heads with you, with the mom, more than the dad at that age. Was that the case with you?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I asked. I know exactly what the answer to that is. All right. Well.
Yeah. So we've got that to look forward
to.
Enjoy. Yeah. Well, and you get to enjoy also because you'll be the one thrust in the middle to solve all the arguments.
Can I just stick to like killing bugs?
Unfortunately, no. You will continue to kill the bugs, but you will have this added to your job duties.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, let's see. Should we take a look at a medical story before we go? All right, let's do that. All right. So this is from Molly. This was a note before our live show in Irvine a few months back. Dear Lady Glauc, I'm so excited for your upcoming show this weekend. As I'm sure you've heard many times, the world of emergency medicine considers you an honorary BAFFERD, badass ER doctor, our highest term of esteem. In addition to the obvious kudos for pretty much single-handedly saving your spouse's life, I wanted to reach out human to human to acknowledge the enormity of what you went through. These are the kinds of moments that cleave one's life into an unmistakable before and after. Finally, thanks for unknowingly serving as a mental model one night in spring 2022 when I thought my husband might code. While white-knuckling my iPhone and debating a call to 911, I calmed myself by rehearsing a plan for Lady G-style CPR if needed. Spoiler alert, no cardiac arrests. Less awesomely, the chest pain ended up being long COVID. 2 years later, Kevin's still stuck in bed and would otherwise join me on the show, at your show. He's non-medical and would have missed a lot of the humor, but he loves how much your husband's videos make me belly laugh. Thanks for all you do. Oh, that was very nice.
That is nice. I wasn't single-handedly. I feel a need to point, like there were a lot of other people involved, but
that was very nice.
But yes, thank you. That's nice. That is, as with all these things, if there's some good that can come out of the really bad stuff, then I'll take it.
Well, thank you for that, Molly. And send us your thoughts and stories. Knock at human-content.com. Do you have any topics that you want us to discuss?
Yeah.
Are you having any marital problems that you want us to mediate?
Ooh, that would be fun.
Isn't that? Like we could take sides and we could argue for you. And probably just make things worse, but it would be good entertainment at the very least. Lots of ways you can hit us up. Email us, at human-content.com. Visit us on our social media platforms. You can hang out with us in our Human Content Podcast family on Instagram and TikTok at Human Content Pods. Kristen, millennial woman over here, loves Instagram. She loves the Instagram, don't you?
Well,
yeah, you do.
I mean, not what?
You're always telling me how to Instagram works, and I don't know.
Well, have you considered that it's not that I love Instagram, it's that you're dumb on Instagram?
Thank you to all the great listeners leaving wonderful feedback and reviews. If you subscribe and comment on your favorite podcasting app or on YouTube, we can give you a shout out. Like at Jeremy Pickering on YouTube said, excellent podcast. It would be fun to have content like this available for JCO credits. That's the Joint Commission of Hospital Safety and Things.
Oh, is it a CME thing?
Kind of like CME. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. CME? We also have a Patreon, lots of cool perks where you can visit or get early ad-free episode access, interactive Q&A live stream events, much more. We're there. We're active in it. Patreon.com/GlaucandFlecken or go to GlaucandFlecken.com. Patreon community perks. New member shout out to Danielle G and Crescentia.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that name, Crescentia. Thank you.
Makes me want a croissant.
Welcome to the team, Crescentia. Have a croissant on us.
Delicious.
Shout out to all the Jonathans as usual. Patrick Lucia, Sharon S, Omar, Edward K, Stephen G, Jonathan F, Marion W, Mr. Granddaddy, Caitlin C, Brianna L, KL, Keith G, JJH, Derek and Susanna H, Mary H, Susanna F, Jenny J, Mohammed K, Aviga Parker, Ryan Mohammed L, David H, Jack K, David H, Gabe, Gary M, Medical Mag, Bubbly Salt, and
Pink Macho.
Patreon Roulette, random shout out to someone on the emergency medicine tier. Laura T, thank you for being a patron. And thank you all for listening. We're your hosts, Will and Kristen Flannery, also known as the Glauc and Fleckens. Executive producers are Willa Flannery, Kristen Flannery, Aaron Corney, Rob Goldman, and Shanti Brook. Editor engineers Jason Portiz. Our music is by Omer Ben-Zvi. To learn about our Knock Knock High's program disclaimer, ethics, policy, submission, and verification of licensing terms, the HIPAA release terms. Release those terms from HIPAA.
You know you want to.
You can go to glaucandflecken.com or reach out to us at knockknockhigh@human-content.com with any questions, concerns, or fun medical puns. Knock Knock High is a human content production.
Goodbye.
Kristen, what would you say is the most important part of my job as an ophthalmologist?
Helping people see better.
That's a much better answer than getting home at 5 o'clock every day.
Yeah. I mean, I do like that part too. That's good.
But the most important part of my job is not clinical documentation.
Right. That is the worst part of your job.
I have to do it. It's important, but I like doing other things too, like restoring eyesight.
Yeah.
Talking to my patients.
Right.
Developing those relationships.
Looking at them in the eyes.
Yes. You know what helps me do that?
What?
The Dax Copilot from
That's
Nuance. True. Yeah, it's ambient technology, AI powered. It helps me actually like maintain those relationships. I can actually develop a rapport with patients that you can't do otherwise.
People tend to prefer it when you're looking at them when you talk instead of typing.
80% of patients say their physician is more focused with Dax Copilot. 85% say their physician is more personable and conversational.
Well, how about that? You could use a little help in that area.
I need a little boost from time to time. To learn more about the Nuance Dragon Ambient Experience or Dax Copilot, visit nuance.com/discover Dax. That's nuance.com/discover DAX. Thanks for watching the episode. You can find more on that playlist over there. If you prefer to listen or you just had your eyes dilated, you can binge full episodes wherever you get your podcasts. Or join the party over on Patreon, where you get early access episodes, hang out with us, get lots of exclusive bonus content. Hope you subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think.